We made it.
We made it. 2019, y'all. 2019. So a couple of things that we want to get into. First off, if you've never been here before, welcome, welcome, welcome. My name is Kiana.
And I'm Keisha.
And welcome to the Illustrations of Your Life Journey, Lyf Matters Project. And we are, heading into February. We've been posting a couple of things. We did our launch, which was great, December 30th. If you missed it, you can go to the Lyf Matters Project and check out the video. We're going to be posting it with tons of videos. If you're not already following us on social media, if you have, you've seen some of the videos. But we really got into the Life Matters and the healing part and the importance of it. It was very well received.
Yeah, definitely watch that one because that'll give you a lot of background on who we are, what we're doing, and why.
Yeah, why. So we're in February. When you think of February, what you think of? What you think of, Key?
Black History Month? No.
We do. We
think of love,
You
right?
think of
Love
love.
Month.
Kiki, do you love me? Are you riding? No, I'm joking. But we do think about love. And since we're on our loving yourself first journey, when you think of love, you also think, for some, you think about hurt. You think about pain because of the heartache or heartbreak.
Right.
And if that's what you think of every time February rolls around, then you have got some healing to do. And that is what we're going to go over. Keisha and I have been talking about it, and we actually think that it would be really good to do maybe a 2 or 3 part because there's just so many layers of healing and wounds and really getting through that. And I think that your pain doesn't have to be lost forever. It doesn't, and your perception of pain doesn't have to be negative. You can use that for a bigger purpose that serves more than just yourself. So I want to talk about wounds. I did a quick little tip on my LinkedIn on it. It was received pretty well. So my tip was, don't bury your emotions alive and call it strength. Again, don't bury your emotions alive and call it strength. Don't give your wounds more power than they deserve. Give them the attention that they require in order for them to heal. Do you agree?
Oh my God, yes. Many times, well, pretty much probably most of the time, we just would rather not deal with our issues, like the things that cause us pain. We have so much to do, so much going on in life. We got to get here, get there, and we just never really address those things that are holding us back. And if they're not addressed, they are holding us back. And those are our issues, our deep wounds, the things that cause us pain, the things that keep us up at night.
Yeah.
And that we wrestle with, the things that put us at a dis-ease, a discomfort. And so we're going to go a little deep on these topics because the work has to be done. We want us to be our best selves. And for those of you that don't know, that are new to tuning in, the Lyf Illustrations, the acronym Lyf is LYF. And that's because it's about loving yourself first. Okay? And so there's just so many things that we need to really look at when we're talking about our deepest issues. Yeah. And they can come across in different ways. I don't know if you want to tell them some of the ways that...
Like our wounds, our brokenness. And we all have wounds, right? We all have hurt. We all have brokenness. Again, like I said before, some are deep, some are right on the surface. Some are recent, some are far in the past, some are hidden, some are blatantly obvious. Just like when you walk around somebody and you could just, how people say, I could just feel their energy. You can feel some of that energy.
Totally.
But I believe that all of this is pain that is covered in perfumed pain. Meaning that you think that you're hiding it or you're masking it, and you really are not. You can't sit there and say, I don't have any pain. Oh, I don't have anything. That's suppression. You're suppressing that pain. And when it finally comes down to heal, you're giving yourself a bigger shovel to dig even deeper. And sometimes it's harder and it's a little more hurtful the longer it takes for you to really get into it and dig it out. I'm going to tell you by my own experience, I didn't go to therapy until I was about 29 years old. I did not. because I suppressed a lot of my pain. I masked it. There are plenty of ways that we do that with a career, with your job, with your stuff and finances, your education, which is a real big one for me, what I wore, how I dressed myself. I really was just masking all of the pain with stuff. And I didn't deal with actually working on my issues until I was about 29. And because I waited so long, it was very painful. It took longer. I was stubborn. I made a lot of excuses. I was not accountable for any of it. And that's really what happens when you don't want to deal with it and you want to suppress it. But I can tell you now, you cannot heal if you don't want to deal. Right. If you don't want to deal with it.
And fortunate for you, you were able to do it with, in a way, what we call functional. So you were able to do some things that you needed to do.
Functional pain.
But you were suffering all the while, or maybe your energy wasn't right some days, or various things. You know, me, myself, I had to end up in counseling and dealing with my issues a little bit sooner.
When did you go to counseling?
I was about 21, I would say. Or was I? Yeah, 2021.
We're not going to tell our age.
Right. So a little earlier in life than 29. But I mean, it doesn't matter, because the blessing in all of that is that it happened. Yeah. It got to a point where we said, you know what, enough is enough. I need to deal with these things because I want to have joy. I want to be light. I want to have peace. You know, I don't want to just be that person that's just, I'm going to get all these degrees and I'm going to do the next thing and the next thing. Because I'm reaching for ways to bury that pain. You need it for functional relationships, and just to really be the best you. And so,
when you say functional relationships, what kind of relationships?
I'm sorry, healthy relationships, not just functional, right? Because there's a lot of ways that people sometimes seem like really cool people sometimes when you're not in a relationship with them, like a romantic relationship or a close relationship in their home with them, you know, but it tends to be when people get in your closest space, that space when you go home and close the door, it all comes out, you know, and a lot of things
are relationships with your kids.
Right, your kids, your significant other,
sometimes in your career,
and it will come out at work.
Your work,
it will come out at work. You know, and why carry this?
What's the matter with Susan?
Why carry this? And you know, one of the things we talked about, we talked about quite a few things. You and I went about why do we hold on to this? Because you know, the healthiest thing is to deal with it, admit it, process it through it. But one of the big reasons we talked about denial. When we say that, you know, oh, there's nothing wrong with me, like you just said, we're just trying to get through it without anybody noticing anything.
Write down these bullet points.
Yeah,
because we took notes. Denial.
We don't even want to acknowledge it our own self. Like, we're telling our own self, not only others, but our own self. You know what?
I'm fine. Nothing wrong with me.
I'm fine. You know, I have this. I'm not even gonna be specific in the people because we're on air, right? But it's just that when you know something's wrong with someone and you're like, you want to help and you want to be there for them, and you're like, what's wrong?
There's something wrong with you
because their energy is like a negative 20, and you're just like,
I got an attitude.
What's wrong? I'm fine. You're not fine. Something's wrong, and I'm here for you. And so
that's denial.
That's denial.
Shame.
Why do we not want to let the person know?
I just don't want to talk about it.
Right. And could be shame or pride too at the same time, because shame, just like you don't want anybody to know because you think that maybe they will judge you or they won't accept you or they'll say something hurtful to make it worse, right? Judgment. But also that pride where you're like, you know, I don't want to admit that I have a problem. But
right. I don't need help.
Many people have issues
pride too.
Right.
I don't need no help. I got it.
Right.
I got it. I don't need no judgment. You don't need to say, I got this.
Yeah.
Pride is another one. So write that down. Denial, shame, blame. Blame is another one. She did this to me. He did this to me. It's their fault. God did it to me. The universe don't want me to be happy. That's blame. And that's another big one.
And what I want to say about blame too is that, okay, there may be some very significant, things that happen to you by people that were close to you or people that you knew, and they're valid. Okay, so the blame can be placed, but the thing about placing the blame is the flip side of that is taking accountability, right? So they did this to you, okay? And it was horrible, and they were wrong for it. Okay, fine. But at some point, we can't live in that. We can't just say every single day or years and years going by of blaming someone else for something that happened, when we have to take accountability and say, you know what, that did hurt. That was wrong. But you know what, I'm going to move on from that because I want to do this instead of staying in that place of blame, living in it.
I could agree. And I can say for my own self, dealing with as the sexual abuse that I've dealt with, and again, being a trafficking survivor, and dealing with incest in my family. Yes, they were to blame because I was a kid.
Very much so.
But when I became an adult, I had to be responsible for what I do about it now as an adult. Do I choose to heal? Do I keep blaming and stay bitter? Because forgiveness and healing is for you. It was for me. I had to do that for me. And sometimes you have to take responsibility back and take control and your own power back of your life and say, yes, they did this to me, but it didn't break me. It doesn't make who I am. It is something that I experienced, something that I went through.
Absolutely.
And that if you get stuck in the blame, you'll never get to this healing process of your life journey, right? So what's another one? Identity. Your ego. My wounds and my brokenness, all of this makes me less than. What I went through makes me not worthy. I don't want anybody to know what I went through because I don't want to change people's opinion about me.
Right.
Right?
Oh,
That's identity.
I certainly dealt with that, and you've been through a lot.
Yeah.
And so these are normal responses and feelings. Yeah. We're not saying, oh, you were wrong for feeling that way. We're acknowledging it because this is the way you feel. This is the way I felt. This is the way you felt. This is the way I still feel about some things, because as we're living through life and we're going through all the experiences, there's going to be hurt. There's going to be pain. There's going to be processing to do. But how about we address it, because we got to process what we already been through so we can be clear enough and focused enough and have the right perspective to focus on what's coming next. Because there will be something coming next.
Right.
So
hopelessness. That's another one. Hopelessness is another one.
Yeah.
Nobody can help me. Nobody can fix it. Yeah. And I hear this all the time for people who don't. I know mental health is a really big thing, especially in the African American community. And most people think that, and the Latin community, the Black and Latin community is really, really big of not wanting to go, right? Because what's the therapy?
Yeah.
What the therapist can't help me. The therapist can't do anything for me. What's therapy gonna go to? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you. And this is something that I struggle with, so this will be relatable. I had an experience early on, which is why I went to counseling and had to deal with my issues so early in life. I went through a bout of mental illness, my own self, in my own mind. I had some mental illness going on, and so I definitely was in denial, okay, because I did not want to believe that there was something wrong with me. Not like that, not me. So
did you acknowledge any symptoms, maybe?
Well, it took me like a year. I didn't want to accept it. First of all, I was in shock, because when something like that happens to you, it's not normal. It's off the, it's out of the ordinary. So it's something you hear about, but you never experience yourself. Or you may know people, but you're like, that's not,
that's
like
not
the man
me,
on the corner talking to him, you're like, that's not me.
Like that.
And I equated that in such a way. And so none of us are immune to having an issue, whatever issue it may be. That's why we can't be thinking we're better than the next person or the next person is better than us. Because guess what? I guarantee you, 9 out of 10 people that you run across have layers of pain and abuse and all kind of things that you would have never thought about, Yeah. And so when I was dealing with that, when I first was trying to come out of it and accept it, I went through a long period of denial. That denial was connected to pride, not me. I just felt like, oh, how could this happen to me? There's so many things. And so what I'm saying is there's a process to this. And so we want to make you aware of these emotions so that you can get down to the bottom of it and, you know, check yourself.
And start checking yourself.
Yeah.
So this is what we want you to look at. This is part one. This is like the part one of acknowledging it, because I'm telling you, number one, you can't change the past, right? You can't change the past and you can't dictate the future, right? The only thing that you can do is change your perception of your pain so that you can heal. So take some time and think about, what am I hiding? What am I bearing? What am I suppressing, right? Am I feeling any denial, any shame, any blame, any identity issue with that, any hopelessness? And another one that I've experienced that I'm going to add to that list is abandonment. That's a really big thing. If they really cared about me, they wouldn't have allowed this to happen to me. That's still a part of blame, but that's also abandonment. Because I felt that way. If my family, or if God, or if the church, or if anybody I can think of really cared about me, that this wouldn't have happened to me. Again, these are still a bunch of bullets and excuses and things that we tell ourselves so that we don't have to look at what it is. We can bury this pain alive and we can suppress it and think that it will go away. But you are in 2019 and this is the Life Matters journey. And a part of this journey, the step that you're going to take today is really look at it and say, you know, what do I do? What do I do? Is this going to break me? Or am I going to be a better mother or father or co-worker or friend? You're going to be better.
You're going to be. We don't have a choice but to be better. This is 2019, and we are going to be better. There's no time to be wasting. A lot is going on in the world today. We are working toward getting better. And what I want to say to you out there is that you are smarter and stronger than you think. So all of these things that are going on, you're powerful. There's no reason to have shame. There's no reason to feel hopeless.
If you could have controlled it, you would have. So don't feel bad.
Right. Yeah. So we're on our way. And I hope you wrote down all the different behaviors and emotions that we talked about so that you can make yourself aware. And let's continue on this path of, you know, just self-discovery.
It may not be easy, but you can do it. Why? Because you matter. Life matters and it's important. So until the next time, thank you for watching. And I had a brain fart. Thanks for watching. Let us know your feedback. We're always looking for feedback. If you have a topic that you would like us to talk about or discuss, please let us know. You can find us at the Life Matters Project on Facebook, on Instagram, and also on YouTube. Leave your comments below, and thank you. Please click and subscribe and comment. We love you, and life matters.
Like, subscribe, and tell a friend. We'll see you next time.
Bye.